Hi, it's Richard here from Aussie Skier, and I'm here to talk about ski boots. And the reason for this video is to show you some of the technological advances in ski boots that have happened over the last 10 or so years, which really means that boots are the best they have ever been by so much it's not funny. The tech that's gone into them is amazing. They are by far the product category in the ski world that has seen the most advances. So, you know, the net result of that for you as a customer is that it's a lot less daunting, a lot less painful, and just generally a lot easier to get yourself into a new pair of boots. Through all these technological advances, the ski boot companies are really looking for boots that fit straight away out of the box and just get you out of the ski shop and out on the slopes, comfortable and happy and on your ski holiday. So the first thing I want to talk about with the advances in boots is the different widths that the boots are now coming with. So historically, ski boots generally only came in one shape per company. Every boot company sort of had a distinctive shape. That's largely due to the fact that ski boot molds are extremely expensive to produce, and by the time they had to make all the molds for all the different sizes, that represented a massive cost. But now the technology is improving, that's getting cheaper, and the boot companies within each brand are generally offering in their sort of consumer everyday or mountain boots 3 different widths. So with some of the brands, they'll denote that as LV for low volume, MV for medium volume, or HV for high volume, or they'll actually have different model names. So here with the Atomic in their popular Hawx series, you've got the Hawx Ultra, which is the narrow low volume, you've got the Prime, which is the medium volume, and you've got the Magna, which is the high volume. So that's basically tripling the amount of shapes that you're going to get from the boot world out there. So between that and then also just general better knowledge of the anatomy of the foot, shapes of foots, using big data, computer modeling to come up with foot shapes, the molds of boots are generally going to really allow a skilled boot fitter to find a boot to suit your foot shape that may not need any modification at all. So in terms of customizability, the liner is where that begins. So every ski boot that we stock has a custom liner that can be heat molded to your foot. So we put the boots in the oven for a specified temperature for a specified amount of time. The foam in the boot goes nice and soft and sort of gooey. And then when you pop it back in the shell with your foot on it, sometimes with a toe cap to give you a bit of little extra wiggle room around the toes, the liner of the boot will mold to your foot. Now, this doesn't really do anything that a week of skiing won't do, but what it does is really accelerates that break-in process. So there is a break-in process for all new ski boots, but the heat molding of the liner drastically speeds up that process and allows you to have a more comfortable introduction to your new ski boots. But it doesn't stop there. Ski boot shells have also become extremely easy to customize. So roughly half the boots that we stock have heat moldable shells. So what that means is that, with boots like these Atomics with their memory fit technology, the entire boot actually goes in the oven, again at a specific temperature for a specific amount of time. And then you put it on your foot and stand very still. And as the boot cools, the shell can expand to accommodate the wider points on your foot. So that, in some cases the shell can move up to 6 millimeters just by the pressure of your foot, and 6 millimeters is like a kilometer in ski boots. That's actually a huge amount of room. And if you have particular pressure points, a boot fitter can maybe tape a bit of foam to, if you've got a bony point on your foot, and that will accentuate the heat molding as well. So it'll push the shell out even further. And then other brands have not necessarily got the heat molding in the oven technology, but you can see on this Technica, you can see these dimples here. So the dimples are in all of the sort of common places that a ski boot shell might need to be stretched. So this allows the heat gun or the infrared gun for that heat to really penetrate into the plastic and make it very easy for the boot fitter to stretch in all the common spots, and it just makes for a much more streamlined process. It means the heat gun doesn't necessarily burn the plastic. There's a lot of things that back in the bad old days of boot fitting just aren't a thing anymore. And then even At the liner level, you can again see the dimpled material on this Technica shell. This material is designed to be ground away. So this is, really in the fine tuning end of boot fitting, but the boot companies are just making it easy for everyone to get a ski boot customized so it fits you perfectly. Another advance that's made ski boots just really pleasant to live with is grip walk soles. So backcountry skiing, ski touring has really been on the rise in the last decade or so. Touring boots have got softer, what's called rocketed soles that are designed for, climbing over rocky, rocky bits of ground, more grip when you're hiking. And a lot of people found that they really like that feeling, but it was those soles weren't able to go into traditional alpine bindings. So the ski companies all got together and they invented a technology called grip walk. And essentially grip walk allows a more natural stride when you're walking in ski boots and also extra grip so you may not slip over on icier sections. So you can see here a more traditional alpine sole of a boot. You can see it's very flat, quite smooth. It's got that real gadunk sort of feeling as you're walking and can be quite slippery. Whereas the grip walk sole that you can see here has the rocker, and I'll just show you here. You can see that feeling while you're walking makes an enormous difference to the comfort of walk and also the grip that you get, and makes it a lot less likely to slip. And the final thing I'd like to talk about is just how light ski boots have become. Again, the ski touring revolution, the backcountry skiing craze has shown people how nice life is with lighter boots. So, a boot that you're walking uphill on, a light boot is definitely advantageous, but with all the advances in plastics and materials, the ski boot companies have been able to make your everyday ski boots a lot lighter, and it's just nice to have lighter boots on your feet for walking around, feeling the weight on the chairlift, for kids also to not take up your precious kilos when you're traveling. Lighter boots are really just a nice thing to have. It just makes the whole experience a whole lot more pleasant, and we notice it in the shop when someone might buy a pair of skis and they bring some old boots in for us to mount their bindings, and we just can't believe how heavy they are. And if you add up the sum total of this sort of 10 plus years of innovation in the ski boot world, it really is quite striking when we see one of the old boots. And if you gave me a pair of skis from 10 years ago, I wouldn't love them, but I could probably get by with it, but you couldn't pay me to ski on a 10-year-old ski boot with everything that we know now. So if your boots are getting a bit long in the tooth, there's really good incentive to come in, book a ski boot fitting and check out all the new technology that's available today.